Oh, hello, and welcome to my video. Thank you so much for clicking on it. As you can see, we have a new setup, new camera. Look at these, whoa, look at these qualities. And we're gonna do a 10-minute game of chess, and I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know about how to win every chess game. Technically, that's never gonna happen because, of course, you're gonna lose. But I'm gonna show you just the thought process of how you could theoretically win every single game you play. Because it's not impossible. It's never gonna happen, but it is not impossible. So it could technically happen. We're going for the Caro-Kann. Most likely what we see is generally a mainline type deal right here. Actually, this isn't even the Caro-Kann, but we're going to go ahead and take. If he takes back, he loses the right to castle. Very quickly, I can explain some stuff. That probably wasn't a bright move for our opponent. I think pinning the knight would make sense because now the king is stuck over there. So we need to develop a piece. We're going to develop a piece in a type of way that is doing something, okay? Probably what's next on my list is pushing a pawn one square or two squares. Yeah, he said interesting tag. He likes my name. We're going to bring this out to the center. Very quick tactic right here. Okay. So, very quick tactic. I can take, if he takes back with the knight, I take this pawn for free. If I take and he takes back with the pawn, this pawn becomes a weakness. This pawn is a frozen pawn, basically stuck behind his guys. But very quickly, he could like push, and then have this type of pawn structure in the center of the board. If I scoot back, almost definitely this is going to happen. So really what's better here? You shouldn't just give up a bishop for nothing, but we're going to go ahead and do it. We gave him the bishop pair to sacrifice, we sacrificed the bishop pair to ruin the opponent's pawn structure. I think that it's going to make sense. We're going to then need to push this pawn. Should I push it one square or two squares? The answer is very difficult to say. I'm going to push it two squares because it's doing stuff in the center. So now I am at least attacking these. Then, I mean, if he just jumps forward and attacks this pawn, we're going to have to do something about it, that's for sure. So this knight is going to defend that. It looks like he's going to fanchetto this way and then basically castle by hand by just playing slow. Okay, very reasonable move by our opponent. We're going to slide on in and just attack his weakness. We made the weakness for a reason, and that was to attack it. So we're just straight up going to go for it. He puts his rook over here. That seems like a weird move. This knight hopping in to the position over here seems to make sense. I'm getting a feeling of castle because I can do that and he can't. So I'm just flexing on him right now. Like that move, bro. And so his king is stuck in the middle. What I would really like to do is like put my rooks into the center some way, trade some pawns and get more of an open position. Yes, he has the bishops, but okay, so now this actually comes with a reason I would be attacking the bishop. So we're going to just go for that. It also defends this pawn push. This knight is doing a great job of holding down the fort over here. I might just even push here. Okay. Now pushing this takes away my retreating square, but we're going to do it. This pawn needs to be defended. Making a pawn chain like this, blunting the fanchettoed bishop, is generally a good idea. And now we got to see. King is still in the center. He doesn't have a lot of great places to go. And my knight living on this square is quite beautiful. That is just a good square for my knight. Absolutely. And now this knight is no longer defending this pawn. So we need to start thinking about what does my knight want to do? Bringing a rook to the middle for sure makes sense. What's he thinking? He wants to go here. Not tremendously worried about that. I didn't know that. You can cancel a move by clicking the the right mouse, the left mouse. I'm not even sure. What am I supposed to do here? Rook to the open file. Boom. I'm looking at your king. Can't be a bad move. Plain and simple. My knight over here might even make a spiritual journey. This square becomes very, very delicious in the enemy's position. Also, this square with my knight potentially becomes a very good square for me as well. This is a check that I sort of need to be a little bit weary of. This knight needs to get out of the way of this bishop. So generally what I'm thinking about is the future of this knight. Going this way, I don't have a lot of future. Making this crazy reroute is going to lose me a lot of time. But if I can get to this square, I'm attacking this square. So we are going to just go for this knight reroute. He could potentially try and trade off my generally very powerful knight. And if he does so, I can grab this pawn. Okay, so he's in the position. He's attacking this. I can jump forward, but then he pins my knight. Then I scoot forward. He could sacrifice. I scoot up. He would get into my position. Wait. He can't even move this guy. So I'm thinking maybe this makes sense. Then he probably wants to do something with his king. This is not hanging. The rook is defending it still. I can also scoot up. That defends this and this. And the idea of doubling the rooks. So I think that actually this move makes a whole heckin' lot of sense. We maintain this pin, which is very important. He has to take a move to step out of the way to be able to do this. It doubles this, and it gives me the option to double my rooks. And if I can double my rooks, take here, and get in with check, oof, that is a rough position for our opponent. And then moving this knight forward is also going to do two jobs. We're going to threaten this whole exchange in the middle where I would come out on top with being able to double my rooks yet again on the semi-open file near the king. Well, the original idea was to just double the rooks, was it not? Because this rook is my least active piece. So I think doubling it up, putting the sniper rifle aiming at the enemy king, I think it makes a lot of sense. And so now I do have this where I can win a pawn. Not really. I mean, I guess he's got to do something, but I could get rid of this bishop. So here, I get in with check. Ooh. I think we might have to play this first. If he pushes his pawn, I can just push again. So we are going to maybe bring the knight. The king is still pinned in the center, preventing this guy from actually doing stuff. So he still does need to take a move. And this is going to be all about attacking. This pawn push is a little bit scary, but I think I just push forward. He would then like jump back, but then this knight is doing a great job of defending this. And at any given moment, I can kind of scoot out of the way of all of this. So like this check is definitely a thing. Like that can happen. I don't even know if I noticed that earlier. But I don't think that it does a whole lot. I just kind of scoot over, coming into my position. I mean, I'll just take you. So going back, the position's the same, just my king is over here. But this is a little tactic that we need to be worried about. He says, have you listened to Bad Brains? Great DC punk band. I'm not going to spend my time typing because I got all my setup in the way, but no, I have no idea what that is. Absolutely not. I need that ELO, bro. I don't think you understand. I touched 1900 just not even a week ago, and I'm 1883, dude. It is so sad. Okay, so he does step out of the way. This guy is doing a great job of this, so we don't want this to happen. I can also take here, get into the position, and then just replace my knight over here. So like take, I'm into the position, this knight is still hanging down, and then this is never going to happen. I could also get a little bit more fancy and sacrifice the rook if he takes back, check here, and then I take this. I think that might be the tactic right here. So right, this square is like I had explained before. Oh no, I explained this square. But now this square is a fork. So a little simple calculation. This knight is doing a great job of defending all these checkmate ideas. Not really checkmate, but destroy me ideas. So he sacrificed the rook. I mean, if you don't take back, then I'm just going to hit you anyway. So if I take here, check, probably here, and then I just take. So I'm fairly certain this is the right idea, unless I'm calculating something very, very wrong. And then also, once this check comes in, all right, so we're going to go check with the fork. How beautiful. If he scoots this way, then I take, but then even this is a check, and you really don't want that. So we're going to grab this. We're now threatening this pawn. This knight is still defending that. My rook is under attack. I mean, my knight is under attack, so we kind of need to do Operation Save the Knight. I can get out. So there's two options, really. I can go here or I can go here. I think we're just going to go here. And then I can come forward and kind of block this rook from attacking more. And maybe I just scoot this rook up and do the same exact idea over here. This bishop's doing a good job of defending the infiltration of this knight. This check still is not tremendously scary. I'll just scoot over. This knight can jump forward with check. You would definitely take. I would hit you with another check. And then it... Ooh, I could trade everything off, couldn't I? Check here. Check here. Either bishop or rook to the middle. What on earth was that? I mean, I just take, right? Oh. You want to push this pawn. I mean, I think I just have to do it. I don't think there's really any other move in the position. He then pushes here. That's for show. I could hit him with this check first. Do a little simplification. Actually, no. We're just gonna slide over here and defend. This knight is undefended. If he takes with the pawn, we're gonna trade off his pretty much last active piece, or he has to scoot over and just be a beta. He doesn't want to do that. I need to step it up a little bit. We got 2 minutes, 38 seconds. Okay. He steps back. I mean, I could just hit him with check and then come back. Ooh, never mind. No, I can't. I hit him with check. He scoots forward. Then I hit him with check. Then he takes my knight. Then I take his bishop. Then he takes me with check. Don't really want to allow all of this. So what we might take the time to do here first. Here first. Then you take. Then I take. Please don't be a blunder. And then I'm thinking I'm just gonna put this bishop here. And then if he tries to block, I'll just push and then just lock his bishop out of the game. We then take. Okay. Pretty much he can't trade this rook, so he like has to scoot over. If he does take my rook, I mean, impossible to beat me. So scooting over is the only move that really makes sense. Jump forward with check and put my knight in the middle of the board. Can't be a bad idea. Okay. Push this pawn. This all of a sudden might become a passed pawn for our opponent here. And he does not want that. So I might just put the rook here. He can't hit me with the check. My knight is covering. This bishop is essentially not able to do anything at all. And I'm just completely dominating. I've got an extra piece. So if he wants to trade for the knight, he can, but I just don't think that it's going to do anything good for him. The original idea was to just get behind this. Okay. He wants to come here. But there's just a fork. We fork the king and the bishop. He potentially could resign here. We take this. Push the pawn. There's a million different ways that I can win this. He can hit me with a check, but like I said, not scary at all. We're just going to push this again. King comes forward. I need to figure out a way to trade off some of these pawns at least. I mean, I've got an extra bishop for Christ's sake, so this shouldn't be too hard to win. Let's push here with the idea of push here, push here. Going to be a little bit difficult. Okay. Here, I mean, you can trade this off, like, but that's not what you want. We're going to grab this pawn. Then his king is on the side of the board. We push here to create a passed pawn. I mean, he basically, nothing he can do. We then get the bishop out of the way so I can promote that to a queen. Push it. Push. Only thing you need to do in this position is when this becomes a queen, can he still move here? The answer is yes. And then you really just want to avoid a stalemate. So he can still move here. So he'll just move there. He can also take some pawns. He can recapture. This is going to kind of force the king here. This will kind of force the king here. This will force the king here. This will force the king back. We don't want him getting... We're trying to push him to the edge. Oh my goodness. I need to play a little bit faster. Check. Here. Here. We're going to take this pawn. Take this pawn. Cut him off. Here. Why was I explaining so much stuff at the end? I hate chess, bro. Although I didn't win the game, I got a draw. Bro, what am I doing? What am I doing? It's back. He can't step back. He'd have to step over. I bring the king, pre-move everything. It's tragic. Chess is tragic. I needed that elo. What am I doing? And here we are in the analysis. And, oh boy, did I throw away the easiest win of my life. I had 46 seconds to checkmate with a bishop and a queen, and I was too worried about winning all of the pawns. Because I play so much bullet, it makes me think that I need to take all of the opponent's pieces and then checkmate. Because, for instance, in this game, I took all of the pieces, I lost on time, and it was really just a draw. So... other than that, I played an incredibly accurate game. If you look at this graph, I mean, I'm crushing the whole game, middle game, all the way into the end game. Our opponent had a slight advantage, but you basically start with that. And then from there on out, I found the tactics, I converted everything, and I literally have checkmate in like 5 moves from the very, very end. He played with 6 inaccuracies, 2 mistakes, 92% accurate, so still very accurate by our opponent, and I played 97% accurate with 1 inaccuracy. But my major blunder was I was trying to explain stuff to you guys, and I suck at that part and playing chess. So I will get better at it. But if we can still learn a lot from the game. So we play the Caro-Kann, and this, I didn't know the name of it, but it's the end game offer, because you basically take, you trade the queen, you lose the right to castle. It's a completely equal position. And it's basically in high level chess, this is offering a draw. You do this is offering a draw to the Caro-Kann. And so one tiny thing. How do I get rid of this? There we go. Now you can see. And so One idea was to fan shadow my bishop this way. He's probably going to do it over here, and my bishop doesn't have a huge future after he pushes his pawn. So, but it doesn't matter. It's still a completely equal position. This is the right idea. Get rid of my light square bishop to ruin the pawns. Put a pawn in the middle. Bring a knight. I think I developed the bishop because I got to develop the bishop so I'm able to castle. Then the ideas of moving the knight become an option. We castle, get safe, completely equal position. And then I decide, okay, this is a dank square for my knight. So let's go there. Then I think, okay, probably you need to defend this pawn. It's being attacked twice. So that's the move to be made. He scoots his king forward with the idea of being able to bring his rook to any of these squares, really, just to be able to, so he can use his rook. I go ahead and throw my knight where I wanted to. He brings his knight back, and then I actually pick correctly. I figure that maybe this rook is going to want to go here or like do something with these ones. So I pick the correct rook. We slide over here. This rerouting of the knight is the best move. Wow. That's a high understanding. And then there's multiple ways you can defend this. They're all equal. We now double the rooks. Then we bring the knight because once I do this whole tactic, this square needs to be defended. And the only way you're going to dislodge this knight is pinning it with this bishop. And you're not going to be able to do that because you are already pinned. So I kind of explained that in the video. And then I find the tactic. This square is a simple fork between these pieces. So we need to remove the defender of that square, a rook. And we also got a bishop out of that. And now we're just up. We are crushing. And so he attacks us. We get out with taking a pawn. I mean, we needed to move. This was really the other option. I could go here and then try and do whatever. But he takes. I take. He traps us. This is yet another fork. I missed that. Oh my goodness. There's just a straight up fork. So didn't see that. I got scared of being attacked. So sometimes you need to, that was my blunder of the game. Big blunder. That's my one inaccuracy. But it doesn't even matter because I'm winning by so much. But if I would have found that, yes, I would have won the game. I wouldn't have lost on time. So he takes, I take, with the idea of let's put my knight on this square. We put the knight there. He scoots over. And I move the king, or I move a pawn, because this is the new idea. Push this pawn, which isn't a bad idea. Put the rook behind it. Hit him with the fork. We get the bishop. And I have 1 minute on the clock. What is wrong with me? We push the pawn. We push the pawn. The king is coming. I scoot my king up here just to get out of any nonsense over here. Then we start pushing pawns on this side of the board. We get a pawn for free. We not sacrifice, but we trade the rook. His king is on this side of the board. I have 51 seconds. Create a passed pawn. Take. And I was even explaining like, oh, now we need to move the bishop out of the way of the passed pawn. Duh. Why did I take so long explaining that? Why did I take 3 seconds? We push the passed pawn. We push the passed pawn. We push the passed pawn. Take. I thought I needed to bring the king. Take. Why am I giving all these checks? I gave like 5 checks in a row, like boom, boom, boom. And then I pushed the pawn instead of coming over here and actually pushing the king back. So none of this made sense. It's mate in 4. I could have just taken the pawn. I scoot over, check, scoot over, check, scoot over, check. Then going here would have made the most sense because you're bopping the king on the head and the king has to scoot to the back rank. So say he goes here, I go here. I mean, he can make pawn moves, but I'm just going to take stuff. So essentially what we're going for is this. I'll kind of show you. Now he's trapped in these squares. We then can bring the king. But it gets a little complicated when you got a bishop cutting off squares, you got pawns that can promote, whatever. I completely blundered this endgame. I don't know what I was thinking. We give all of these checks. I could have just made it a new queen with 7 seconds. Maybe that would have made sense. Just make a new queen and then just take everything with check, whatever. This is the moment where I realized, oh dang, I really need to start taking stuff. We take. We go here. And then the plan, with 1 second on the clock, I actually played this move and lost on time. But I think, I still was able to make pre-moves. So what I really needed to do here was push forward. He scoots over. I scoot forward with the king. He then scoots to the corner. And then I bring the king and checkmate on this square. And I just was not able to do it. I was honestly too focused on the commentary. And so, forgive me. But the main thing we need to learn from this game, play faster. Play faster. If you don't want to lose on time, take all the pawns. But if you can checkmate before that, you don't have to. And it was really the coolest part of this game was just this tactic. I missed a simple fork, but this whole or even was it? Dang, it was early back. This whole idea right here. This is a fork. We need to just remove the defender. And so don't be shy. Don't be shy with rook sacrifices. And so it breaks my heart a little bit. Breaks my heart. I needed that elo. I even mentioned in the game I needed it, and I lost one. I lost one elo for that draw. So give me your condolences in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.